Expressions. We are now here at UNISA in Pretoria. We are here to find out how the registrations are going.
It's very frustrating. Like, I woke up in the morning traveling from Free State to here, and I was actually here for my registrations, but now there's no production whatsoever, all because of this free education. Like, it's just not fair on all of us.
People are still getting in, but then inside there's no staff, nothing is working, everything is off.
This morning when we wanted to come to work, we found the SASCO students chanting, saying their demands are not met.
This effort that you see here, it's not an effort because we do not want to start as student leaders, but what we want is we want to make sure that each and every student who comes here and who qualifies to be a student gets the opportunity to study.
They deny us the access of the free higher education, or those people that are coming from far distance to come here to register.
Free education will actually benefit us economically both in a short and in a long run.
I mean, we all do need education, and I mean, these guys who are stopping these students from registering, they're hampering students from reaching their ambitions.
Wow. And those were some of the sentiments shared by students in different tertiary institutions during the registration process that took place this week. But with that, we want to say hello, Dumelang, Sanbonani, welcome to Expressions. And I know you know this by now because this is definitely the place for you to air your views. I'm your host, Jacqueline Mapala.
Your number one youth current affairs show, your host. Now, tonight, Jackie Siabuzage, are student political formations to be blamed for chaotic outbursts during the registration period, or are they sincerely heeding the call of students?
And Mko, that's a very important discussion that we're having tonight. There were long queues, pockets of disruptions as the registration process went underway in some tertiary institutions. While most adopted a no walk-in policy, some universities as well as TVET colleges opened their doors to first-time applicants. Since the president announced for free higher education to poor households, tertiary institutions have had to work to contain the chaos during registration. So,
well, Jackie, and however, many students are blaming student political formation for some disruptions during the registrations. Now, E-Team Expressions visited the University of South Africa. Take a look at this.
Expressions visited institutions of higher learning. At Wits University, students registered successfully, while at UNISA Pretoria, chaos erupted as a result of the promised fee-free education.
Matriculants have come to Wits to actually inquire on to whether they can actually walk in, do walk-in applications, get in with their results, and actually register for a course that they want to do, on whether they qualify or not. So what we do is that we give them information as to you qualify, we look at their results, we count their APS scores and points, which the government never actually stipulated to students, and the universities never did that to students.
We engage the management to extend the application process. So the university agreed with us on that. Now, today, the university was supposed to be allowing the students to apply and register because the registration period is still on. Yes, it's still open. So there is a student wing called SASCO. It's barring students from entering the registration hall and apply and register as well. So we don't know why they are doing that.
Why is that so? No, what happened today was that SASCO took a stance along with the staff members that we're going to shut down today and tomorrow because there's other issues that we need to cover as structures of the university, because there's, like, for example, registration fee. We want that scraped off. Application fee, want that scraped off. There's historical debts that are hindering students from studying further and completing. Some people can't even graduate because of such things. So we came here today to shut down peacefully. And then when we were having a meeting with management, EFF decided to stand on the gates and force students to get in. And now what happened was that staff members didn't want to enter because their lives would have been in danger.
Our stance as the DA is students should walk in through those doors, register if they want to. That is why I have managed to take some students inside and register them on my laptop.
Why should that registration be held by some political party while we are here to engage with university directly?
All we are seeing is ANC, SASCO, EFF fighting each other. We don't know what is going on.
Registration is stuff for simple as that. I'm spending money for that.
Some of the really strong sentiments from young people on this also important conversation that we're having in studio tonight. But to help me unpack this issue, I'm joined in studio by my guest. My first guest is Chief Mabizela, who is the Chief Director for University Policy from the Department of Higher Education. I'm also joined in studio by Calvin Fannin, who is the Chairperson of the EFF at UNISA. And I'm also joined by Charlton, who we saw in that insert, who is the Deputy Chair of DASO. Gentlemen, welcome to Expressions.
We're glad to be here.
I hope it's going to get hotter than that, right? I hope our responses will be much better than that. But Mbohedi, as you know, the best things come in twos. And you know, my co-host Mkolisi is on the other side, manning our social media corner, bringing some of your insight on this topic that we're discussing. But all of that is going to happen a little bit later. We're going to get straight into this conversation. I mean, we saw from those inserts, and I think I want to start. Here with you, Charlton. I mean, young people are frustrated. They didn't feel as if that you were there to pursue and push their interest. If anything, they kind of felt that you were disruptive, you created chaos more than anything else. I mean, what would you like to say about that?
Well, I would like to say greetings to our viewers at home. And if you watch most of the interviews that are coming out from most of the students there, they clearly said SASCO and EFF Students Command. So my position as the DA Student Organization will be to stand for freedom, fairness, and opportunity in our universities, and hashtag to leave no student behind during the registration processes.
I mean, I don't know, Charlton, are you guys not politicizing this too much? I mean, at the core of this, it is really about students. It is really about free education and making sure that students have access to it. Are you guys not doing too much grandstanding? It looks like there's a lot of infighting that is eclipsing the real agenda here, which is the students.
Thanks a lot for having us. And equally, I must give thanks to those students who are at home watching this channel so that they can get clarity from leadership of the students at the University of South Africa and everywhere else. Well, as a point of departure, I must make it known that for us to put our position out there is through witness account. Students are there themselves saying that SASCO is the one that was preventing them to access campus. And as the EFF Students Command on Friday, prior to that Monday where that incident occurred, where students were jumping the fence and stuff like that, we led a very successful shutdown. It was peaceful. The registrar and together with the acting vice chancellor, they were there, and then they promised to deliver on first and foremost, to deliver on first-time application, commonly known as walk-ins, and equally scraping off of historical debts. On Monday, SASCO decided to prevent the very same students who left their respective provinces to come here in Gauteng, Tshwane, to come for registration. So as the EFF, our position was quite clear to say, I mean, if we said the management must allow walk-ins to take place, let us allow walk-ins to come and apply. I mean, we've been fighting for these students prior to even their year of university. So it can be correct that the very same organization is the one that prevents them. So let's take the witness account and
okay, so according to you, you're not to blame. I mean, I definitely want to bring, obviously, the sentiment of a chief into this discussion, but I think it is fair for us maybe to take this conversation a little bit to the other side. I mean, we do have a SASCO representative in studio with us, and I think in a nutshell, all they're saying is that you are to blame for the chaos, for the disruption. And if anything, you are not putting the needs and the interest of students ahead.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Jacqueline. What is happening, I greet all the viewers and the students at home. What is happening is that I don't know why the DASO and the EFF will try to paint such sentiment to our students that we are trying to prevent them from registering. You'll understand that SASCO for the past 27 years, it's been relentlessly fighting and pushing the issue of free and quality education for the offspring of the working class. Why will now people think that we are demagogues of the revolution by blocking them from registering for their institution? What is happening is that they are telling you a lie when they say that the historical debts were scrapped from Friday. The historical debts are still a problematic challenge which is still facing our students. Because even now, most of our students, they fail to register at the University of South Africa simply because the university has never came with a plan to accommodate and adhere on what the president has said on free and quality education. The university has decided to remain with a certain mechanisms which were used previously before the announcement of the president was made, of which, on the other side, we felt as South African Student Congress, the only student vanguard, that this thing is also depriving our students an opportunity to carry on and continue with their courses. They are not also elucidating on the issue. There's what we call a council bursary, a bursary which was supposed to be funded to fund all our students.
Let me intervene, and I think Mko will definitely go in depth, I think, around particularly that issue, and I think it's very important, I think, to bring in the voice of the department in this particular issue. I mean, we know free education, the announcement was monumental, it was revolutionary, but you can already see that there's so many complexities in seeing this come to fruition. And I just want to find out from you, as a representative of the department, how are you going to handle this issue moving forward? I mean, we're in 2018, 2019, you'll be dealing with far more students.
Yeah. You will remember, ma'am, thank you very much for the opportunity. The announcement was made about 32 days ago, and half of that or more was holiday. And I think the strides now that have been made are quite huge. We met with the SRC presidents yesterday, thrashing out some of these issues. And we have agreed, you know, the issue of historical debt, which seems to be an issue at UNISA, because it's not across all the institutions. Yes, there are students across the system who have what is called historical debt, those who still owe the institutions at least from 2016, 17 last year, and then, you know, want to register this year. It's a matter that's being handled nationally. We discussed it. There's going to be a communique tomorrow. And also, you know, the meeting that we had yesterday was not the first one anyway. We also had a meeting with the vice chancellors. Those matters are, I understand that they are in control. What's going to be happening is that the historical debt that the students are raising at the moment is that the students, what we are discussing, students who qualify to be on NSFAS. Previously, the cutoff point was 122,000 rand household income per annum. Now it has gone up to 350 as per the announcement that was made by the state president. So those are then the students who are still owing the institution who fall within those categories. First year students who are coming in for the first time 2018, no problem, they are going to be admitted as long as they have proof that they are coming from households that earn about up to 350,000 rand. Those students will be admitted by the institutions without any charge at all because government is going to be paying for them. But of course, they need to sign and sign that they are admitted and sign that they sign loan agreement forms, but that's for formality and for auditing purposes. Otherwise, they are loans. They are not necessarily loans. They are going to be grants that are covered by government. Okay, so students who are outside of that, then, of course, they will have to make
So
payments.
this concept, this monumental idea around free education does not mean that they're going to completely scrap out the historical, I guess, costs and expenses that student were owing. Look, and unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut you here.
Yes,
We
sure.
definitely will take this discussion a little bit deeper. Mohedi, stay with us. On the flip side of this is Umkolisi bringing you some of your comments on social media. You're watching Expressions. Stay with us.
Ake siphinde sinibingelele sinamukele. You still watching Expressions, your hashtag #1 youth current affairs show. Namhlanje kusihlwa we're discussing the registration process for first-year students. Siyabuza ke, are political formations to be blamed for the chaotic outbursts during the registration period? Now I'm joined by Usphiwe Kwame Marena, who's the secretary of SASCO at UNISA. Sikubingelele sikwamukele mhlekazi.
Thank you very much.
Now, before the break, you made a very valid point, ne? Or touch on no historical debt, or touch on how you welcomed the announcement, the historical announcement that the president made. Kodwa abantu abasha, particularly on social media, want to know, does this really warrant ukuthi kumele niphazamisa abantu abasha abafuna ukufunda with the chaos? If you do not have historical debt, for instance, wiped out, does it warrant you causing a mock? Because it's purely blamed on SASCO.
Particularly in the context of UNISA, it's not all about historical debts only. It's also about what we call, there's a bursary which we call a council bursary, which it was funding our students since from the beginning of last year. This decided that the management decided that they are going to cancel that bursary due to their own issues, which we don't know what is it. To say that these students, they are now going to be abandoned and they are trying to go in to find a plan. But now the problem which we found as a student vanguard is that these students, they didn't apply for NSFAS, West Part, because they depended on the council bursary, which it was supposed to fund them for their first, until they finish their own first qualification. Now they are going to remain stranded because the grants which UNISA tried to provide for NSFAS, they are not simply applicable to those students. Therefore, what happened is that these students, they remained there, stranded. They were also coming to our table to what we call a Right to Learn campaign from the 3rd of January. They were coming there with high emotions and pain, telling us on what are the challenges that they are facing, particularly facing the issue of council bursary, as well on the issue of NSFAS, which it has promised our students that by the 12th of January, it was supposed to start responding to our students, of which it never happened like that. Even now, our students, no one has ever received a response that is particularly registered with the university, as well as this issue of free and quality education. It means that students, after they've chosen their modules or registered, they were supposed to receive a confirmation of a university, which it tells them
so
that...
they didn't get all of that.
They didn't
so
get
essentially,
all of
but the
those
question is, if do we really go about causing a mock?
Particularly, we cannot...
That's the question.
Okay.
Yeah. Which do we go about causing chaos if we do not get what we want?
Let
yes
me,
or no? Yeah.
Yeah. No, you don't.
Thank you. So I guess begging social media with Batini Gabantu. Umawawa says no, they definitely not. What about free education? Now, Tokozani Pure says, I don't blame the student political formations for chaos at tertiary institutions. I see you nodding there. I personally think the president should give a space of like a year for plenary in order to roll out free education. And it goes on. And of course, I need to take Usimpiwe Shongwe, who says, why are our application statuses application rejected? Oh, and then Ayanda says, oh, but SESCO's timing. Why are the students suffering for political vendettas? That is the crucial question here. Abandabasha just don't feel like they're represented. They feel like they're lingering in the background because you guys have scores. EFF there?
Yes, well, one will tell you that this was about political point scoring. I can tell you now, today as we speak, UNISA had a total shutdown for the past 2 days because workers wanted increment 12%. Those workers are led by Nehau, and Nehau is a friend of SASCO and the ANC. Then you can realize that was a build-up. It was a building block towards this shutdown of the workers. So it was not necessarily about the interest of the students, but the interest of ANC and all their friends, which is PYA structures, YCL, SASCO, and stuff like that. So I think my comrade there is careless of the truth, because the truth of the matter is that whatever they did was not in the interest of the students, was not regarding free education. The president of the African National Congress, he succumbed to peer pressure during December holidays, and he woke up to announce free education. He didn't even engage the very same SASCO to say, how are we going to go about this thing of free education? As the EFF, we didn't fight free education because of Zuma announced it. We always believed in free education. Fourth pillar of the economic freedom fighter speaks to the issue of free education, free, quality, and decolonized education. So it can't be correct to come here and say the EFF was...
All right, Daso, I just want to get your take on this, because Ubutsianda Oscar Stebe says the announcement of free education is the main issue here. Is it the main issue?
The actual truth is, when the president woke up with the hegemony, and I'm speaking to the president of the African National Congress, and said free education, he should have stipulated that this free education will be available in 2 years or will be available in a year. Now you give people, the people of South Africa and young minds in South Africa, youths in general in South Africa, to say that you are trying to open a can of worms by just announcing free education. Our stance in the DA has always been to pursue quality education. But you cannot say free education for all, because that's not fair. What about the people who can actually pay for this? Now, we're actually saying, let the rich people pay, while the middle class subsidize, while the low people, it's totally free.
All right, okay. But young people like Usposetu here still feel this is really not about education. Godwa, you guys have a vendetta because they say they are absolutely not representing us. Godwa, on that note, we quickly need to go take an ad break. Siabuya after this. Stay with us.
Welcome back. You are still watching Expressions here on SABC 1, and we're discussing this also important issue around the registration process that has been taking place with first-year students. And we're asking you, in terms of our poll question, are student political formations to blame for the chaotic outbursts during the registration period? I'm still with my guests, and of course we need to wrap everything up. And just, I think what is really important, I think, for you, Chief, is just to give me some closing comments. There are lots of students right now who are watching, lots of students who still have to register. What is the way forward? This infighting, the vendettas and so forth, I think we're moving away from the actual issue. Yeah. What is the way forward?
Absolutely. I fully agree with that statement. We are moving away from the main issue. What we would request from the students and political formations in particular is to give space to the administrators of the institutions, the management, because they are running admissions now, and they need to do admissions accordingly, because there are many new nuances that are coming in with the announcement. And that needs a very meticulous way of working by the administrators. Of course, government also is involved. So wait for the communication. Where there are still issues that need to be thrashed out, those will come with time, and not to the disadvantage of the students, surely. But we're working with the system to implement the details of the announcement that was made by the state president.
Which I think is a very important sentiment, and I hope the same sentiment also carries over. And I think I just want to give you guys here also to wrap it up very, very quickly around how do you ensure that students are not breaking down the gates and flooding these places, because Chief has made it very clearly that it has to follow a systematic and an administrative process just so that they're able to do their jobs. I mean, I think as the EFF, I mean, what are your closing comments around this issue?
To simplify, as the EFF Students Command are saying, students have all the rights to endeavor to get free education, and equally prospective students and students, they have all the rights to come and apply, regardless of whether they applied last year or not. They must come this year, apply. They will find space as it is within their rights in Chapter 2 of the Constitution. Now, to just give a conclusion, I would like to say or remind you that the EFF has always availed itself to assist, in particular, the masses of our people, fellow black students in the universities or in any other institutions of higher learning.
Okay, Kevin. So I just want to give also Charlton, I mean, it's just please short and sweet, what would you like to say as Daso?
Well, we as the DA Student Organization have still maintained our position in saying that the EFF, SASCO, and these political formations, including ourselves, we stay out of processes such as NEFSAS. We'll stay out of administrative processes. What we should be looking forward is building towards an educational system at which students will benefit. In UNISA, it's an ODL institution. Why don't we set up peer-to-peer learnings and so on and so forth? So we as the DA Student Organization are concluding to say, as DASO, our stand is, let political parties stay away.
Okay, so I have to cut you.
Let's leave no students behind.
I have to cut you, and unfortunately we have run out of time. Thank you very much for your sentiments. Thank you. A big thank you to our guests. Yeah. And Mobohedi, you know that expression is not expression without you. So this is a topic that you suggest for us to cover in our next episode. Take a look at this.
Hi Expression, my name is Tulani Tony Shabalala. For next week's topic, can you please guys discuss about young black chefs in South Africa? Would they consider cooking as a career? Thank you.
Yo, Jackie, strong sentiments from Abantu Abasha. Siyathemba ukuthi siyasithola isisombululo sooner than later.
Exactly.
And of course, sibonge kakhulu nawe mbukeli lapha ekhaya ngutube nathi. We're back again next week. Ubhodlingaga is joining us to recite a poem this evening. From all of us here at Expressions, we wish you a spectacular evening going forward. Cutting Edge is up next. Bye. Take care.
Adios.
Saphindambo mhlekazi kuba ilanga liyandishiya kukude bhakuba. Saphindambo mhlekazi kuba ilanga liyandishiya kukude bhakuba mandisithi qakathu ndingene ndisuka apha madoda erhini njengobhodlinqaka erhini kamakhanda kanxele indaba ezono yintloko yerhini inzwane ngumatyana zanquzulana madoda entlani nenye kwamoshakala baphina oHector Peterson baphina iinkokheli zangomso ziphina iinkokheli zangomso khani sinike imfundo yamahala khani sinike imfundo yamahala ewe kaloku madoda ezozithembiso mayingabizi izithembiso ezingenamfezeko sibavile besitha sinamali akodwa ndithenda ukujonga madoda ngamaxhlango oxholovana xhaphile ngamachando ozungula ichela dengile ububele bakho mzantsi Afrika likroba kumarhamncwa nangoke thontelana okoxamu bephaxulana kuba apha ekhaya madoda uxam waphusile ngoko bantakwethu nxeba ntakwethu susana imisindo nxeba ntakwethu kanilungisa ukuhlala ndikhumbula amadoda oHector Peterson ayeqhankqalaza esilwa madoda ngenqindi phezulu ngoko makwedini khanihlisa inyawo makwedini ngatsho ke makwedini nilwe ngengoma kaloku ingoma yasikhulula ngo-1976 ndiyayikhumbula ingoma. Out of that massacre of 1976 there was a brave soldier that never died and that still lives on. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about the song ingoma kuni let there be a song izanithethelela camaku.